right, guys. So, as you know, my my important 2-week break is gonna come to a close, as it is Friday. Yes, technically, I still have, this weekend and the next 2 days. So technically, it's not done. But the best part about the next 4 days is that I got it all to myself. So I mean, you can argue the 4 days can although the number is short, at least I can say those 4 days will be enough to make the most of my overall 2-week break. So yeah, it is Friday. It just as this 2-week break is going to come to a close, even though I got this weekend and the next couple of days after this weekend to make the most of it, right? So I will say this, man. This, after all that I heard, like in the, last week, after my shoot-around game against Russ in his home court, where I had arguably one of the best wins I ever had, I thought, like, it sounded like it was official that my 2 weeks was only going to be cut to 1 week. And so that disappointed me and worried me. But of course, I was expressing concern over, because of a family matter that was, that got me very, very concerned, and the whole entire family concerned. But for the most part, that's been taken care of. So after this past weekend, I was able to go on with this, what is originally the thing, which is the important 2-week break. So yeah, technically, it resumed, and I was pretty happy about that. But now I needed to make the most of it, and so far I think this week fared better, in the sense that I was able to celebrate National Best Friend Day like super late with a Boston Neil. I just had the video up, that long ass video of our first official Nutballers podcast, just full of ramblings with Nutballer friends, collaborating with them. In this case, it was a Boston Neil, and it was all mainly done in the car, like how I always done my my podcasts in the car, right? So anyhow, this week fared better. It was a more decent week, and like I said, I was able to celebrate National Best Friend Day late, and I'm talking about super late. With those guys, yes, they got a gift. It was for pretty much all of us, and after that, it was I was also able to take care of the 9-year friendship anniversary, both the game and the greeting. Yeah, the greeting, I did it, and I got the help of with the help of Neil, who was my camera guy for the greeting. Did that. It was successful with my unique craft, the sign, and then the game, more importantly, which happened yesterday evening. I had to do it after work, so it was like a primetime game, since I played a 2 for 3, and I still have to evaluate that game, but I know for sure I won. Yeah, because I was rolling with a bunch of the mid-range jumpers, consecutive mid-range jumpers, like I've done in many of my shoot-around games, even at home. So yeah, I got myself into a good rhythm, despite missing my first 4 threes that went out of bounds. And then since then, I was able to recapture my rhythm of shooting threes, and eventually, I end up winning. Yeah, I know for sure I won because I've been pretty red hot. And I was hitting a good number of threes. I believe I hit 10, but like I said, I gotta evaluate. But yeah, for sure I did win because judging from the second activity, I was able to count it pretty well. And I'm still definitely gonna review that game. Just doing the edits, the numbers and all that, the scores. But I know for the most part I won. So the game was taken care of. I did not need a third activity, which is good. So perfect 2-0. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, this week it fared better than last week. Even though I had arguably one of the best wins against Russ yesterday, definitely another awesome win. And knowing that I'm undefeated in what is now to be, I'm 3-0 on me and Mari's friendship anniversary games, and even on her birthday as well. I'm undefeated still with anything Mari related. That lucky charm, huh? Anyways, but yeah, I mean, overall, my 2-week break, yeah, I mean, it's not so bad, but it could have been better, okay? To me, it still could have been better because I could have done a whole lot more if it wasn't for, just after last week's shoot-around game against Russ, to the point where, I wasn't sure if I was gonna, if I was only gonna have it 1 week, or officially it sounded like it was, but after this weekend it sounded like the 2 weeks was still going. So you know what, I could have watched Jurassic World, that new movie, the latest sequel, Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth. Love to watch that movie. I want to watch it. I could have had this whole 2 weeks to do it, but I didn't. And I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to do it. So, I had to take advantage because, when I hung out with a Boston Neil yesterday, dude, I stayed till, I didn't come home until, past 10. It was like the good old days, right? Even though in 2013, I've seen myself come home way later than that back then. There were certain hangouts, or I should say several hangouts, where I was out till midnight or a little past that in 2013. Most times they're coming home by 11. So those days, when we all got together as a group, even though Abbas was not so much in the picture then in 2013, and so was Neil, because every time we saw Neil, he was with Nick at the time. So but yeah, last Wednesday, I felt comfortable enough to just enjoy my time with friends. This is what I needed. But but this is pretty much the only opportunity I can get, because after 2 weeks, after this 2 week break, it's back to reality again, man. And no, I'm not talking about reality as in like this goddamn dump that I'm about to, that I'm almost approaching, but like it's back to reality in that, I may not have any more of these opportunities, I'm not saying I won't, but if I do, it's like, it's good, it's like I'm gonna leave the rest of my family hanging, with so much more of a burden that they got to deal with, you know what I'm saying? So for me, like, it was good to see, not only me, but just to see my parents too, like, just really just being able to do our thing, and they're doing what we been trying to do as far as like, some of the plans that we do, and around the house and all that, and and so and we got more, for the most part, we as a whole, have just been able to have more relaxing time. You know what I'm saying? So although I still do, like, I really don't want to think ahead of myself, and unfortunately it has come to that last night, because I know this 2 week break is coming to a close, right? And just knowing what the future will hold. Now, obviously, I already know I don't have any control over, my outside life. I'm talking about, mainly my home life that's been, it's been chaotic here and there, and the only thing I can really do is control my job situation, and obviously I have not been able to get a new job, and I'm still here with the same people, practically like 90% of the same people since I came in, or if it's like in my first or second year. I could have sworn I could have met a whole bunch of new people by now. Yeah, there are some new people, but it doesn't, like, but there's still a majority of them that are like, they're still been here since I have. They're lifers. You know what I'm saying? And so I know I have no opportunities there whatsoever. Like, it's like my 12th year. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing enough that I'm still there and just doing nothing. And look, what Paula said in the email, I might have another video on that, because Paula mentioned something, and this is from her learning experience ever since she left that dump, and that I'll show on the email. Well, no, actually, I'll read off her email, and I'll just and then I'll have my thoughts on that. So that might be another video coming up. I still got a lot of content on here. I really want to talk about last night's or yesterday's game that I was finally able to get over with, that tribute game. So, in the meantime, I got to make the most of today and the weekend, and, and then going to the next week, which is Monday and Tuesday, which we'll be off of this dump. So I got to do everything I can in my power to make the rest of it. I really do want to watch the Jurassic World movie, but I'm not going to have a chance, and I don't even know if I ever will, because, like I said, I only have these 2 weeks to do so. Hell, I could have gone out every day if I had to, So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the next few weeks are like, or whatever. I know it's going to get crazy the next couple of weeks, but, it is what it is. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later.